out the gate. I'm going with the Chargers right off the bat, and then the Broncos following, because I have so much faith in Case Keenum. And I know he's playing an uphill fight, especially trying to repeat what he did with the Vikings. The Raiders, they follow shortly after. I feel like that wide receiver core, even though you guys might look at them as the expendables, but these guys are going to be a fantastic talent and great support system for Derek Carr. And also the running game is still there. We just talked about Marshawn. And then lastly is the Chiefs, and which is kind of mind-blowing because if Alex Smith was with the Chiefs would be up top. And it's not a shot towards Pat Mahomes. I just don't know what he has yet. Okay. It's not a shot towards Eric.
It's all fair, Nate. Somebody has to be last.
That's exactly right.
That's what I'm going with. This is my list.
Mine almost matches yours. Chargers, Broncos, and the Raiders. Because I cannot.
Who are the Raiders, Adams?
Because they're both. The Raiders are an older team with a new coach. I don't understand what they're doing on defense. And the Chiefs, with Patrick Mahomes,
who's last?
I don't. Can Eric Berry? It's crazy to think the Chiefs might go from number 1 to number 4. They might be that team. The Chiefs have to be at the bottom. Okay. They're the 29th ranked pass defense, and they got rid of Marcus Peters, and they have Eric Berry back. Is he enough to really carry this defense? Is Patrick Mahomes not going to throw a ton of interceptions in his first year starting? I have to put him there. Raiders. I don't love them right now either. Chargers on top, most complete team. Broncos, they can definitely impress people.
Did you consider the Chonkos to be a number one?
I couldn't decide.
It's hard.
The Chonkos.
Because I love the Chiefs and I love the Raiders.
I understand.
I want them to not be at the bottom, but right now that's the way it's looking.
You've been to brunch, but go to Linner. It's even better.
Oh, really? Champagne brunch. Linner's fantastic. I think the
now
AFC
you guys
West
know why I don't do the whiteboard segment.
It's hard, and I think the AFC West was like one of our first loves as a show 2 years ago. Like we love them; they've been great for us. This is like picking our friends. And I honestly, be honest, mine is pretty chalk. I got the Chargers at number 1, but I have the Chargers with an asterisk, okay? The Chargers need to be able to beat Andy Reid. They don't do it. But it's as simple as the sum of their parts. I just think they have too many good players. I put them 1. The Raiders, I'm going to take a shot on John Gruden. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to be great for Derek Carr. The Broncos just have to fall in 3, guys. The fact of the matter is someone has to finish 4th and 3rd here, all right? And, Peter, before I get to you, I think I might serve this up perfectly. This Pat Mahomes thing could go badly. It could go badly. We could pull up freezing hot takes from us, from you at this table about Texas Tech quarterbacks and offenses and Red Raider and everything. It could blow up. That's the only reason I'm putting them there, because he's the least experienced. There seems to be kind of a consensus here. This is my list. What say you?
What do you got, Trace?
The number 1 team in the AFC West.
I love it.
Is the team that won the division last year, brings back their head coach, added Sammy Watkins, brings back Travis Kelce, brings back Kareem Hunt, brings back Tyreek Hill. Guys, they didn't lose Alex Smith to free agency. He didn't walk out the door and get a Kirk Cousins situation. They actively traded him away. They didn't want him anymore because of the guy they have in-house. So I'm going to trust their front office and their coaching staff that Patrick Mahomes is an upgrade to Alex Smith. Whoa, they got something.
Whoa!
Number 2, the Broncos, they went and got a quarterback. They've got one of the best defenses in the league. Now you add a quarterback in Case Keenum. And 3, the Chargers. I know all 3 of you guys have picked the Chargers to win, and they finished the season great last year. The Chargers haven't been to the playoffs in 5 years.
They're the Chargers.
They start off the season every year like crud and have to come out and they win these games that mean nothing. And then they lose when it matters. They had a chance to go into Arrowhead on Christmas Eve last year, and they got the doors blown off.
They don't have a home field.
They always do. They don't know how to play in big games yet. And quite personally, I can't put them above the Chiefs or the Broncos. The Chiefs, I've seen win big games in the AFC West, and I've seen a lot of these guys in the Broncos win a Super Bowl. And as for the Raiders, it's just wait and see. I don't know what the John Gruden era will give. That's my passionate explanation for going with a first-year quarterback, a first-year coordinator, and a first-year GM. Go in the AFC West.
This is why I can't decide between the Chiefs or the Raiders at the bottom, because I want to give Andy Reid the edge. I want to say I believe in Andy Reid and what he did, and I don't know what John Gruden's.
I don't either.
I need to take a shower. I hated that segment.
Peter, I think it's funny that you said the Raiders are wait and see, but Mahomes, he's great. He's better.
Okay, didn't you see those 3 plays he had last year? Those 3
He threw a no-look pass in a Week 17 game to Demetrius Harris.
He's the Jason Williams of quarterbacks, okay? White chocolate, where's he?
We're going to talk about this, though. You said that Pat Mahomes is an upgrade from Alex Smith. We got to have a conversation later.
I didn't say it. The Chiefs did.
And you think Alex Smith is perfectly rated
right
after that conversation.
In that sweet spot.
Them dealing him shows how underrated he is.
What do you make of those Super Bowl aspirations for this team and playing with those expectations?
Well, Omar, when you look at this team on paper, it's not hard to see why, because without question, you probably have, I wouldn't say probably, you do have the best quarterback in the division and one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is that defense is going to be nasty again. You keep Jason Verrett healthy at the corner position, him and Casey Hayward together along with those defensive ends that we have, and then you got the young rookie, Derwin James. There's a lot of reasons to like the Los Angeles Chargers. And then I forgot about the wide receiver position. We only have one of the best wide receivers in all of the game in Keenan Allen. So it's a lot to like about this team, but they got to put in the work. They got to go do it.
All right, LT, thank you very much for joining us. Have fun the rest of your trip out there.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
He's phenomenal. He's got great leadership. He loves playing. He's absorbing everything. And now he's just got to do it, right? He's got to just go practice and work through it and massage each play and see how it works against these different coverages. And he's so willing. I mean, that's the part you appreciate.
I always have. I've always done that. I think people took some things that I said into a context that I was going to be mean or rude or whatever, and that was not it at all. If you listen to the whole conversation, that was said in jest and laughing and having fun. So I've never been the type to just be rude or mean to other quarterbacks. So you can ask, Jones, and I've had a lot of quarterbacks through here that have been younger than me that I've tried to help any way that I can. So, I'll continue to do that.
John was talking about your leadership skills already being shown. Do you feel like, as one of the veterans, you want to take it upon yourself to lead this corps?
I mean, I don't have a choice. We're going on 10 in the game. A lot of these guys, 3, 4 first-year guys. I mean, that's just my role. And at the same time, I'm out there competing like I'm 21. So, I'm going to have fun with it.
Michael, you mentioned the process of building chemistry, and you've played with some good quarterbacks in the past. In your past experiences, knowing you can always build better chemistry, how long does it typically take to feel like you're on the same page and it becomes a little more innate and you're not thinking as much?
I mean, you only see it in the game. So, I mean, you say the first game, practice is what you practice, and in the game is showtime. So once you see it in the game multiple times, then you get comfortable. It is what it is.
Three-time Pro Bowler Chris Harris Jr. Chris, I have to start off with no more Aqib Talib. It's now you and Bradley Roby at corner. How do things change for you, if at all?
Nothing's changed for me. I'm still doing my same role. I'll probably have to match number one receivers a little bit more this year, but I'm still right now playing the slot, playing outside, left and right, and so I'll be moving around like I normally do.
Take us back to your very first mini camp. I know you were there with Champ Bailey. How much of a role did he play in your development?
Oh, man, he was huge. I got to play 3 years with Champ. Also played a year with Dawkins. And just seeing how they study film and how they prepare for the games. And it really helped me out to speed things up with me. And me playing everywhere on the field, I had to learn fast. And teams always kept me in motion and moved me around, so I had to learn fast. And playing with Champ, it just kind of always taught me to. He was one of the first guys that really believed in me and really said I need to be on the field with him. So when you have a Hall of Fame guy like him and Brian Dawkins, those guys are vouching to get me on the field. They instilled a lot of confidence in me that I could be playing this league for a long time.
So you came into the league, and Champ was the OG. Now you're the OG for all these young guys. And when you talk about OGs, one named John Elway anointed somebody other than the Broncos as the best team in the division. He said the Chargers are the team to beat. What did you think when you heard him say that?
I think the Chiefs are still, man. They still the defending AFC West champs, and until somebody knocks them off, I'll say otherwise. The Chargers, we always have great battles with them, and I think we split last year, but, that's something that I don't think anybody in our locker room fears them at all. So, we've had great games with Phillip Rivers. We know that we can play with them boys, and so I think it's wide open in the AFC West. I think everybody has a chance to win it.
Talking about fear, you think people should fear Case Keenum in this Broncos offense this year?
Yeah, I think they should. I think we got the receivers that are, I don't know if there's a better duo than Demaryius Thomas and Daniel Sanders. And Jake Butt, man, he's a sleeper. He's been making plays all over the field. He's come back healthy. And then our new rookie receiver, I don't know how he didn't go first round.
Right.
Southern Cat from SMU. I think teams really slept on him, man. He's making big time 50-50 balls, going up there and getting it. So I think BB's are definitely going to sleep on the type of impact player he's going to be for sure.
All right, let's have a little fun now. Chris, you guys have been the no-fly zone. Maybe you're no-fly zone 2.0 now. But now that Bradley Chubb is on board, it seems like we need a nickname for Vaughn and Bradley. And we have solicited a few on Twitter. I have 4. I want to throw them out there and just give me a quick reaction to each one. All right? All right, here's the first one. Sacks in the City. You like that?
I like that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, number 2, Space Invaders.
Nah.
Okay, throw it out. No Space Invaders.
Yeah,
how about Rocky Mountain Thunder?
You can throw that one out.
Okay. All right, that one's gone. So we have one that's okay. This is my personal favorite. Our producer, Tom Self, that put this segment together, loves this one. So I hope you do too. Ground Control and Major Vaughn.
I like that one because I know the B-line, they try to be the ground control, so with Major and Vaughn and the wrecking crew or whatever, because, I mean, it's not just Chubb and Vaughn. We got Shane Ray, Shaq Barrett, so we got plenty of rushers knocking off the edge.
See, he's a team player.
He's good.
He's throwing everybody out there. Hey, Chris, man, good luck this year, and congratulations on your newborn daughter, my friend. Your third daughter. You are going to have your hands full, brother. You probably can't wait for training camp.
Oh, man, it's going to be tough for me, man. I'm outnumbered big time, for sure.
Thanks, Chris. Good luck, man.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
I'd be here every day. I would be here every day, but they haven't asked me to do that. I've worked with Randy for 8 years now, so it's not like he's a new guy just come in that work is necessary. So, we've got a lot of the same guys back on offense, and a lot of the stuff is things that plays that we've been doing even before a lot of guys got here that I've been doing for a long time. So
Here we are. Think that the Niners are legitimate Super Bowl contenders? Why not? Because they don't need that much hype. They are a team that is still developing and still growing. And I got so much hate from Niners fans last week because I said I don't think they're going to necessarily have this year that everyone thinks they're going to because their division is so good. You have the Rams, I think, are a little bit of a step ahead. The Cardinals are not dead. They're there and they might be revitalized.
Okay.
Russell Wilson's still a thing. Did you really surround Jimmy Garoppolo with enough, with Pierre Garçon coming back off an injury at 32, with Jerick McKinnon, we don't know how he fits, to have those kind of expectations? Though I like the mentality.
I agree, and that's what it is. I agree with everything you're saying, but you play to win the game, right? So you're going into the offseason saying, we want to win the Super Bowl. You don't go in and say, hey, guys, I know we're working out right now, but we got a few more years before we're really, really good. You know, if you're Kyle Shanahan and you're saying, let's win right now, let's be Super Bowl champs right now, I put this team together in such a fashion that we can make a run for it. So I can appreciate that. But I'll say this, it's going to be different, and it's going to be difficult because things have changed. When I first started working this job, I had a beard. It is just now growing back 3 years later. I went to a dermatologist, which turned into a therapy session.
Really?
And she said, what changed? I said, everything. My whole life. Everything changed. And I was stressed out because of that. What changed for Jimmy Garoppolo? Everything. You have the money, now you have the pressure, and now you're beginning the season. You're not a guy that came here on a trade and playing these unpressured games. Now that's what's different about this team. Everything has changed, and that's where the stress comes from.
Let me get in here, because, Peter, maybe you could shed some different light. A lot of the light on the Niners is a lot of cool exposure. Like, the GM is awesome and famous, and the coach is really cool, and the owner's doing things. The guys are going to win games for them, though. Like, we talk about John Lynch a lot, and we love him, the guys he's brought in. Solomon Thomas was the number 3 pick in the draft. Is he going to be a game wrecker? Because, I don't know, rookie year was okay. Reuben Foster, I don't really know what to make of. We'll see this fall. They have a really expensive fullback. They have a really expensive running back who raised a lot of eyebrows. And then Richard Sherman, they also paid for. He's got 2 lower body injuries. So I can't hand them the NFC before I can even hand them the NFC West. There's a lot of question marks. It's a lot of glamour, but a lot of question marks.
It could work, and they'll be great in the future. They're setting themselves up.
I'm gonna embody the 49er fan on Twitter.
Okay.
Hater. Okay.
One more time. Hit it again.
Hater.
Hi, haters.
Hi, haters.
Bye, haters.
The Eagles were not a playoff team 2 years ago.
Oh,
they set a goal. They said, we're going to win the Super Bowl. They brought in a lot of guys in the offseason, and they gelled, and the chemistry in the locker room was enough to propel them there. I'm not saying I've been with the Niners every single day. I was with them for one day last week, and Joe Staley told me it's the best feeling he's had at this point in his 10 years with the 49ers. There's a real chemistry there, and they're building something. That Navy SEAL stuff, we can roll our eyes at. They did the Navy SEALs training, and it's a bonding activity, and these guys are all on the same page. So I'm not saying they're winning the Super Bowl. I'm really not. I think it's a loaded NFC, and I think that's really high expectations. But I'm also not saying they can't win the Super Bowl because I've seen the Jaguars go from a joke to the AFC Championship game. I've seen the Eagles go from an also-ran, lose their starting quarterback, and win the Super Bowl. So 49ers, they did add a lot. We'll see how it works out, but I'm certainly not going to be the one on this show saying they can't win the Super Bowl.
Should the Niners be favored in the NFC West? Should they be? Would you put them at the top of their division?
No, I would put the Rams out of respect, the fact that they won and they added all their new talent. But I think the Niners are the second team in the NFC West.
Wow.
Based on how they finished the season
Your
last
top 100 debut in the top 40. What does it mean to you to be to have that honor by your peers?
Yeah, definitely an honor and definitely something I'm proud of and happy that, my peers see me in that way. But, by no means does I, take it as much other than just, a vote of confidence and continue to keep working.
Well, some of your teammates on that list, you were the 5th Ram revealed. 3 of the 4 others were additions in this offseason. What does that say about what your front office is doing right now?
Yeah, I think it's exciting. It's an exciting time to be a Ram. And I think, they did some really good things this offseason getting Keeb and then Marcus and then Dominican and then Brandon. And it's been exciting to, get with all those guys and learn from them, learn from their experiences in the past, find out what worked for them in the past, what didn't, and, try to apply that to our team.
Jared, talking about making a big jump from year 1 to year 2, you go to a Pro Bowl, you guys make the playoffs. How exciting, and I'm going to talk about this creative game planning genius, Sean McVay, your new head coach. How did he just come on the scene and just change everything, even the energy of the team?
I think, first of all, he's super smart, and, he knows what he's doing. And
of course, he loves to hear that.
He would agree with you.
At the same time, though, I think he's got absolutely no ego and is just trying to help us win and do his part. And obviously, he's done a tremendous job so far. And so far this offseason, you've seen kind of his want to even push it even further. And we're right there with him, and it's an exciting time. We're excited that he's still our head coach and get to move forward with him.
Jared, a little bit of struggle in your first year, and I don't blame it all on you because I watch college football. Do you think that the college systems of like the spread and all the different things that they don't do in the NFL hinders quarterbacks and even receivers, for that matter, going forward, like getting in the huddle, calling out protections, all the things that you had to learn how to do in your second season that you made that easy transition?
I think there's some things. I think, like huddling and some stuff under center. But I think, for the most part, if you're a good coach, you can bring some good stuff out of players no matter what they've done in the past. And I think, you can see that in what Sean has been able to do with a lot of our players and just the way I feel about it. I think there's a lot of stuff I did in college that does translate to stuff I'm doing now in our offense. So I think it has a lot to do with, coaches being able to bring that stuff out of players.
A big member of that team, Aaron Donald, is sitting out in the offseason as his contract negotiations are ongoing. Are you pretty confident everything's going to get worked out?
Yeah, I think so. You sure hope so. Aaron's such a great player and such a big part of our team. And, I know he's been, wanting to get back out here as best he can. But, that's part of the deal is he's got to deal with that. And, the front office has to deal with that and get him done. And hopefully, he comes back, happy.
You do not hide the fact that you're from the Bay Area. You love the teams up there. It's Game 3 tonight. The Warriors are playing. Do you have any predictions?
Yeah, they'll win the next 2. It'll be over in 4.
He's feeling quite confident about it. Next 2 right in a row, and that's it.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm excited, though. It'll be fun.
All right, Jared Goff, thanks so much for being here with us. We look forward to seeing you guys open against the Raiders this season.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Being comfortable in my environment and knowing everybody now. Last year was I didn't know everyone's name, so that's tough to begin with. And then I'm trying to learn everything week by week. It was a whirlwind last year, but now things have slowed down. Feel more comfortable in the environment and getting more and more used to everything. And it's it's a great situation. I mean, I love being here. I think we've had good OTAs, and we're working hard right now.
All right, let's head out west now. The Chargers have become one of the favorites, guys, officially to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Defensive end Joey Bosa joined Total Access on our very own NFL Network to discuss this coming season. But first, I want you guys to take a listen to our guy Melvin Ingram, who also has some high expectations.
This Super Bowl we're going to win going to be, we ready. We grinding. Nah, we just going to keep grinding. We're going to grind no matter what. And that's what our main objective goal is, to win a Super Bowl.
So you're going to grind your way all the way to a Super Bowl?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's every team's end goal for the season. But I think after the last couple of years and the guys we've gotten in here and the steps we've made as a team, I think it's definitely possible. So now that we know what we can do, and we really have that feeling that it's real, it's time to go get it.
Okay, but his neck gen stats are better than anybody. His neck is bigger than his head.
Doing those, yeah.
Paul plus Leslie walking away. We need someone to be the heir apparent for the crazy neck. And Bosa is on our radar.
Well, Bosa is the technician, and Melvin Ingram is the athlete, and that's in Melvin Ingram's words. So these two ready to win one. And all of a sudden, guys, don't look now. California has become a state full of contenders this offseason. Which team from Cali has the best shot of making it, maybe even winning the Super Bowl?
4 of them, huh? So you got the Raiders, the Rams, the Chargers, and the Niners.
Yeah. Guess which team I'm going with, Peter?
Where are you going with, Kay?
The Chargers. Not for the reasons I've been giving you for almost a year and a half. I liked them at the end of last year. They won 6 of their last 7 games. Their coach now has some legs under him. Keenan Allen. They're all disrespected, in my opinion. But now I will give you a new reason. It is hearing them believe it. They're no longer the woe is me cursed. How are we going to lose this game in the end this year? Melvin Ingram's out there saying we're going to win a Super Bowl. That is our goal. Those kind of things, that sort of confidence is not something I have heard from Chargers as players in recent memory. So now they've got the swag and the confidence. I'm happy about it.
9-7, I still can't trust them Chargers. It seems like
they need to earn it.
As soon as we fall in love with them, they hurt our feelings. Sure. I'm looking at that 11-5 Rams team. So talented, and you want to talk about believing. Even though they were young, McVay comes in right away, and he's walking around like a 45-year-old coach that's been doing it for 20 years. He got them believing. And this is a young squad. You got Todd Gurley talking about, I don't need to celebrate because I get in the end zone a lot. I act like I've been there. This type of personality is usually coming from teams that have established themselves, have been in the playoffs, even won Super Bowls. There's something scary about this Rams team because they're extremely quiet and they're not saying much. It's almost like they're keeping everything, and they're in the heart of the chaos. We're talking L.A., the glitz, the glamour, Sean McVay, McSlay, and whatever you want to call him. He's sitting there saying, we're just getting started. And he has the best running back possibly in football. He got one of the most explosive wide receivers in Cooks. And forget about defense side of the ball. We just saw Ingram and Bosa. What about Donald and Sue?
Yeah.
What about Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters? Strays, I don't know what you think, but it seemed like them Rams are special.
I'm with you. I'm going with the Rams on this one. 11-5, they won the division. Obviously, they lose in the playoff game. But it's one thing if they were this hot team and now everyone's got a target around them and say, okay, we've got tape on the L.A. Rams. Here's how you stop Sean McVay's offense. They went out and they changed their team. Now you've got a whole different blueprint because you now have Brandon Cooks, who's a speedster, as opposed to Sammy Watkins, who's kind of more of that underneath fourth, third, second option on these offenses. Now they've got a number 1 in Cooks, who I could tell you, speaking to guys at L.A., they're thrilled with what they've got in Brandon Cooks. This guy is a burner and is going to change the offense. And on defense, Nate, you nailed it. It's not like, all right, we know how we can block against Robert Quinn. We've got a year of tape on him.
Yeah.
We know we've got Sue and Donald together, this could be the greatest defensive tackle combo the league's ever seen. I mean, on paper, it's got that potential. You've got a guy who's got a Hall of Fame career behind him, or at least was on pace for it with the Dolphins and the Lions, now coming to play with a guy who's the reigning defensive player of the year, and then you nailed it. Peters and Talib, if they're good, they could be the best duo in the backfield. So on paper, I have a hard time saying any other team, and you know I love the Niners, and I got a feeling for Gruden. I think they're going to be good, but no one, Chargers included, I don't think anyone's coming close to what the Rams are going to do, and the expectations are that high.
Strays, I never do this live on TV, but you have these relationships that I'm envy of, and you know Sean McVay. And without going into detail, when you talk to him, is this some young dude that's just happy to be coach of the year?
He's a possessed person.
What talk about it. Talk about
he's the guy who can't have fun in the offseason because he's so focused on how he's going to draw up the 98th play in a potential
You have these conversations with him.
Look, McVay is I don't want to say he's a sick kid, but he's a sick guy. He loves his football. He's addicted to football.
Every wildly successful person I've ever met is a little bit nuts.
He's addicted to football.
There are no hobbies for Sean McVay. He's not golfing
right there. See, that's special.
All right. He's addicted to football. That's great. So's Phillip Rivers. I'm going to the Chargers, guys. I'm going right back down the freeway to the Chargers. I don't ask for much, right? I really don't. I'm a simple guy. I just want one thing. There's only one thing I ask for from these football gods. I want the AFC Championship game to be played at the StubHub. How bleeping weird would that be, all right? If, let's say it's Brady and Belichick and they come into the Stub. I've been in the StubHub Center. It's about the size of this room. I saw a Sergio Mora boxing match there. I have made jokes for 2 years about the StubHub Center that their concerts are like Shaggy and Liz Phair in a double bill, and there's like 800 people there.
That's actually a bigger bill than I think they're getting.
Liz Phair? All right, Shaggy and Cisco, however it may be, Peter. Work with the joke. All right, but here's the thing. I joke about the concerts there. I want the AFC title game there because real concerts coming up at the StubHub Center. Pancho Sanchez, who I think is in Latin jazz, and God bless him. Meanwhile, as means of comparison, over at Arrowhead Stadium, Ed Sheeran and Kenny Chesney, all right? Other concerts. Tribute to the 90s is at StubHub Center. Tribute
I
to...
would love that.
I would love it too, but I would also love Gillette Stadium, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Heinz Field has Taylor Swift, and meanwhile, the Charger Stadium has a band called DW3. I don't know if it's a boy band or what it is, but they'll be playing the Stub.
Korean pop.
Whatever it is, K-pop. I'm into it. It's not as big as Jay-Z and Beyonce, but how weird would the StubHub Center AFC Championship game be? And it's very possible this year with all the talent the Chargers have. It's all I want for 2018. That's it. Write it down. So I'm done.
Imagine
Maybe to the Stub.
spilling over the top.
That's it. Like people on the train in the other countries, you know, like they're just hanging out, right, hanging onto the side, climbing the StubHub Center. That's all I want.
I think the way this is going to play out, and I know it's hard, they are leaving. We know that. In 2020, they're going to be the Las Vegas Raiders, and that's going to be really difficult for those of us that have built our lives and lived our lives here in the East Bay. I've been here for more than 30 years, so I know your pain.
I'm going to tell you something, man. If you guys don't know how big a win that was, you'll know tomorrow. It's a hell of a win. It's a team effort. Offense, defense, special teams. Now, the effort was outstanding. Outstanding.